If you're just joining us, this is the April 2015 edition of the Django CMS Virtual User Group Show and Tell on Google Hangouts. Looks like we have a small number of people joining, just one, including myself, and then hopefully more will join along the way. But nonetheless, thanks for joining us. Anyway, Jonas, go ahead and show us what you wanted to share.
That's a small site.
All right.
Now it's a bit bigger.
Nice clean design.
Yeah, it's quite I think. So this is for a company called OECD. They world peace, and I'm not really sure, but they have a lot of dialogues with different countries and so on. And we created it with Django 1.7 and Django CMS 3.0.11, I think.
Okay. You really should be on 3.0.12, I think.
Yeah, but we haven't. We will when we release it. Right now, it's on a staging environment, so it's not released yet.
Okay, cool.
So, because this was the first site that would use Django CMS, I mean, it's good, but I think there's ways to make it better.
Awesome.
But we can actually don't know if I know the password for this. Nope. That was not good.
Okay.
Let me see. Nope. I can get back to you on this.
Okay.
Just, make sure I have the password.
Sure. Okay. Is it something that you would want to? I mean, do you come back to me another day, or do you want to come back to me in a few minutes?
Just I'll let you check up on the time.
All right. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now we can. So
All right. You're in now.
yeah. So it's a bit of, because we have this slider, so we had to kind of create a list of the stuff if you are in edit mode. So you can edit like this teaser, for example, and yeah, you can write stuff here and so on. But it looks when it's not in edit mode, it looks like this.
Right. So I don't know if you saw it, but in a recent episode of the Hangouts, I showed another way to deal with that.
Yeah, I saw it, and I
Okay.
thought that was really cool. And we wanted to do it, but we didn't really
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
So
Okay.
but so we kind of did it this way for now, and then we should probably update that so it's better too.
Yeah, so that you'll get basically a change list pop up instead of
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, okay, super. So
Yeah.
great. I'm glad that you spotted that. Now, just so you'll know, I personally have noticed that there's a lot of new plugins that I would like to see us have to support some of these front end editing modes. And I think what I'm going to do is propose to the core team group in our next meeting some kind of a rationalization of those tags because I believe that it's I think there's some work that could be done maybe for a maybe for a 3.2 release or something. So yeah, I feel your pain as you know. So so good job solving it in whatever way you could, which was great.
Yeah. I mean, it works. The problem is that the list gets longer and longer the more you have, and it looks kind of weird. But I mean, as long as the font works in a good way, we can handle the content.
Right, right. You could certainly go live with what you have here, and then you could make a change at a subsequent release.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the structure is, I mean, it's quite a lot different structures. And the window is too small.
Interesting grid. What kind of grid are you working with here, if at all?
Um, I think it's Bootstrap.
Yeah. Is it 12 columns?
Sure, it's
Okay.
I'm not sure actually. I'm not the front end. I just do the back end. So
All right. Okay.
it's, but I think it's like Bootstrap with 12 columns.
Right. Okay. So if you were to double click one of those containers, oh well, I guess I don't. You're not using the Bootstrap plugin. It doesn't look like.
No,
Looks like you manually kind of um, set the size of these placeholders,
exactly.
which is it's
Is
cool that
there
you can do
another
it.
Django Bootstrap plugin?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a couple. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. In fact, I'll show you some of that shortly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So okay.
So
What
it's
other
quite
cool things have you done?
um, let me see.
By the way, a little shortcut for that going from structure to content mode is you can just click the space bar on your, when you're on the page, just click the space bar and it'll switch from one to the other.
Not, maybe I have the Binwin plugin, so
Oh, right. Okay, maybe it's
overrides that.
interesting.
One thing that's actually pretty cool, I think, is the documents list, which is uh, in practice just a plugin and that that uses that uses. Uh, so here we have the category that you see the English and so on.
Yeah.
We define with different languages, and then in the document type we have the documents, which is pretty much a filer document with some more text and typo and so on.
Okay, so you basically put a translation wrapper around the filer documents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because that's we had a because this site should be in I think 6 or 7 languages.
Okay.
We had I was thinking we should use folders and filer, but because it doesn't support translation in a good way, use this instead.
What are you using for your translations?
Parler, I think.
Parlay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think a really good tool. That's the one I use whenever I need translation.
Yeah, I tried another one that's kind of almost the same as
Is
Parler.
it HVAD? Havad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then saw like the Django plug was implemented with Parlay, so I thought, hey, why don't use that?
Yeah, so a little history on that. I mean, a lot of the core developers worked on Havad or HVAD some time ago, and then then somebody else came along and really liked the interface of Havad or HVAD, but then they re-implemented it in their own way, and now all of us Django core developers are using Parlay. So I think it's a really good case of open source at its best. You know, we kind of threw something out there, and then somebody did it better, and we're happy to use it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean, they both worked, but because the Django plug was.
Hey, Jacob.
Hi.
We have Jonas here, and he's just showing us one of his latest projects. And just so you'll know, we are recording this, and will be posted to YouTube soon, I hope.
Jonas, are you still in Japan?
No, this is not that Jonas.
Ah, okay.
I'm from Sweden.
Ah, okay.
We have another mutual acquaintance, Jonas Obrist, who is actually a core developer of the CMS. And so since Jacob can't see your face right now, he just made the assumption.
Yeah, sorry.
I should have been clearer when I announced him. Anyway, carry on.
But so, for example, we have the title of the document, and you can see it's a PDF, and we have it also available in, and then you can click into the different.
And then you got some tags there. Looks like, are you using Tagit for that? Yeah, looks like you are. Yeah. Good library.
So the only thing I didn't get to work is the autocomplete right now. So it never autocompletes the tags, but for now it has to be like that. And you can update it when you get that work.
Right.
Other than that, it's not too much. It's the blog, the Django CMS blog, and yeah, different pages, normal templates, and then a help desk section which is pretty much a questions and answers, and they can go in and
So it's frequently asked questions.
sorry.
It's frequently asked questions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you know that there's a plugin available for that?
Yeah, I saw it, but we had to have a special workflow. So
Okay.
they get
Okay.
email, and it has to go through a certain type of thing. But you should probably look into using that.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's a good looking site. It's a good looking site. It's nice and clean, and it looks like you're using all the stuff that all the technology, which is great.
Yeah, I think it turned out really good. The client is really happy.
Fantastic.
That's important.
Good job. So you have any more projects down in the pipeline?
Yeah, we have actually three. That one is kind of prototype of a like an innovation project for the Swedish government, part of the government, pretty much. And then we have a site that is for helping you in multiple countries, which implemented the Office or Microsoft Office 365 API.
Right.
It was really interesting, actually. And then we have one more that's very local to Stockholm. I
Cool.
can show you those when they're
Yeah. I look forward to it. And you know, I'm really pleased to see that you're really using everything like it was intended. That's really awesome. Um,
Good.
did you want to share anything else about this site, or are you kind of wrapping up now?
No,
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Okay, super. Jacob, I was going to show off the new django-cms.org website in a moment, and also talk a little bit about Newsblog. But I'm happy to wait if you have something you want to share.
Um, no, not yet. No.
Okay.
Well,
All right. So go ahead. Go ahead, Jacob. What were you saying?
no, I just did not. I did not prepare anything.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. No pressure. I'm glad that you came along anyway. Okay. So what I'll do then is I'm going to switch over to my screen, and then you guys should be able to see it now. This is the new django-cms.org site. Literally launched a couple of, like, maybe not even an hour or two ago. Well, maybe more than an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. And it's using a lot of new stuff, which it's using stuff that's available to everybody pretty much. But we wanted to show off. There's two reasons I wanted you guys, three reasons I wanted you guys to see this. One is, this is a Django CMS user group, so of course I want everybody to see the new Django CMS website. And I think it's important for all of us here because as we talk to our customers, respective customers, about using this technology, sometimes they want to see that it's a real technology and not something that you cooked up in the back room, right? So it's good that there's a good professional presence online. And so hopefully you guys like what you see. Of course, you can go to the address that's shown and check it out. I'm going to walk through a little bit of some of the stuff because one of the things that I kind of got the impression from the community was that, when Divio, the people behind the CMS, make a website, they use the CMS, but they also use a bunch of secret stuff, right? And so it makes it difficult, to get as good of a result. But I want to show you guys that, with the exception of one thing, I think everything is available to everybody. So everything you see on the front page is mostly available. I think everything is available. One thing that might be kind of interesting is this is literally a plugin that I made yesterday. It took me like 2.5 hours to make, and basically it just you give it a repo, you configure a repo, and then you can have one or more plugins that use that repo, and it goes to GitHub and gets these statistics and caches it, of course, so that it's not all being done in the request cycle. But that might be useful for some of you who do projects involving code on GitHub. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can get into this published version of the site, which would be a shame. Let's try. No. Okay, so I can't seem to get into it. I might have to go into it from the staging server. So there's these, but they're really quite simple. You just basically the repository, if it's there. Let me check if it's public. Oh, looks like I'm getting a phone call. Aldryn, and I think I call it GitHub stats. Okay, yeah, it's public, so anybody can check it out if you want. Again, it was only a couple of hours work, but hey, it's a couple of hours that you won't have to spend if you want to do something similar. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, then I think everything else on the front page is pretty standard. Now this comes from a new events add-on that we've built. I don't know if that's public yet, but it will be soon. If it's not, I can just check real quick. Events. Oh no, it's private, so no. Okay, yeah, that'll become public soon. But right, I mean, we're getting it ready for this launch, so soon it will be there. This is all static. Sadly, we don't have a way to do this automatically because it comes in from different places. So maybe we'll automate that someday. Okay, so then we have this list of add-ons. This is kind of a a basic app that we have. It's probably not public because it's so bespoke to this project, but it's just a list of add-ons that people can use and plug in their projects. Newsblog is right here. I'm going to talk about that one in a minute. Aldryn-blog is probably the one that you were using, Jonas, in your project. Or maybe, no, you were using, was it this one or were you using another one with a similar name?
Django CMS blog.
Okay, I don't know if that's it or not, but this new project here, Aldryn News and Blog, will replace this one, but we kind of really need to work on getting this one to support something more than Django 1.6, which will be our next area of focus. Okay, so that's that, and the network section is again something that we did in-house for for this particular application. So I don't know if this would ever be open source, but I do want to, since both of you, Jacob and Jonas, are freelancers / agencies, I encourage you to register on Aldryn, if for no other reason than to put your name up here, right? So these are lists of companies who offer Django CMS development, and you want to be here, right? So definitely check it out, and it's kind of cool because we have a map here. You click on it, and then it'll show you the agencies around the world. So you want to be in here. So that's that. Then events, I just mentioned to you, we have a new events app, and like I said, it was created just for this. So we probably will open source this. I believe that's the plan, so stay tuned. But it just basically gives you the ability to manage a number of date-sensitive objects and then display them on a calendar and do the things that you'd expect to do. I think you can actually, you can click and add to calendar. So much like we have in the new People app. Actually, I don't know how new that is. Well, I guess it's pretty new. Here you can create a new calendar entry, and then like on the People app that we have, add-on that we've shared, you could be able, download a V-card of that individual. So we're trying to really just, make things interoperable. So then that brings us to the blog, and this is the new blog. It's already open sourced. We pushed out version 0.8.1 earlier today, and it has some pretty nice features. All the basic stuff that you'd expect. We had some open source community commits or pull requests, which we committed that provide feeds for various things like tags, categories, authors. So we're already getting some involvement from other people. You can see that you can use it and make it look really nice. It has both tags and categories. Now, these are categories up here. Categories they can also be organized in a hierarchical manner. So we're not using that here, but you could easily have, like Django CMS, and then you could have some things underneath that, and they would still all be part of the Django CMS tree. We're using Treebeard to organize the hierarchy. Works pretty nicely. I had a lot to do with that, so I'm pleased with it. And a feature that we added just yesterday is the ability to manage how your URLs are. So, it's not a big deal to you guys managing your URLs, but we made it configurable so that you could have it just go by this, just use the slug, or you could use the slug and the year, or the year and the month, or the year and the month and the day, and then the slug. And that's real good. In fact, it was something that we needed because we migrated everything from the old Django CMS website and .org website, and we wanted the URLs for all the blog posts to remain the same, so that we could, continue with our SEO, etc. and it worked really nicely. And you can also manage how that behavior, how the system should react if somebody goes to the wrong URL. So if somebody were to go to, just the year and the name of this, in this case I've got it configured so that it will redirect you to the correct or canonical URL. But you could also configure it so that it does a permanent redirect, or a 301 or a 302, or you could have it do a 404 if you don't want people exploring around. Or you could just simply allow it like it was a normal URL. And so basically it will work for all of them, and then we manage how to respond to people when they go to the wrong URL. So yeah, so this is really good. We have it integrated with Discus over here. We don't have any comments on this particular article, but comments do work. And we have a plugin for this as well, Aldryn-Discus, which is open sourced, and you can easily add comments to the blog. We didn't think it made a lot of sense to try to rebuild commenting because it's done so well on the internet, and Discus is a really great example. I'm not sure I actually looked at support yet. Oh yeah, I did. So this is just a basic web page, to be honest. There's nothing really too big here. Hey, look. Oh, I didn't even know that was here. So we have different resources. And then docs. I'm not sure I've actually looked at this one yet. Oh yeah, I did. It's just a link to the docs for Django CMS. Looks like it's going to an old version. Oh no. Yeah, what is this support through that? Oh, no, that's the current version. Okay. So yeah, this is the site, and gosh, I really did want to share with you guys some more about the blog, but I can't log in on the public site. So I'll have to do it another time. But basically, I guess the only thing I was going to show you is that I have a preview mode in. So if you were to create an article that's not yet published, when you're logged in as a logged in user, you will still see it everywhere that it should go, but it'll have a distinctive style so that you know it's not published. And then when you switch over to the normal public view, then you see it like everybody else does. And I think it makes for a nice experience for a blog editor, so they can kind of see how things are going to look exactly, when it goes live, and so there's no surprises once you hit the publish button. So that's what I wanted to share, and I don't know, other news kind of related to this. One of the reasons why we pushed this out today is because the team at Divio is currently at DjangoCon Montreal in Canada, and of course, they're going to be talking quite a bit about Django CMS 3.1, currently in beta. And if you haven't tried it, you really ought to. It's pretty nice. It's got a good some good stuff in it. Most of it's foundational, so it'll be a good foundation for other plugins and add-ons, and there's some really nice ones out there that will show you when the time is right. So that's what I was going to share today. All right, stop that.
Martin, may I just ask a question? Why the last Tuesday there was no meeting for Aldryn? The Aldryn meeting was not held. Is there any reason?
No, there's no reason, other than everybody was just scrambling to get ready for the Montreal DjangoCon, I think.
Okay.
But that's probably the kind of thing that you should, talk about later. This is being recorded, going on YouTube, etc. Work stuff we can do offline. Jacob and I work together in some capacities, so. Anyway, so let's see if there's anything else that we need to talk about. I know there's been lots of changes on the CMS. I've made a few commits last weekend for the support branch 3.0.x, and there is a 3.0.13 release, which is going to be coming really soon. I just need to find a block of time to finish up the remaining pull requests and get them committed. If anybody has any time and they want to help out, that would be great. So we have 3.0.13 will be the next 3.0 release, and then of course 3.1 is already in beta, and I think we'll have a release candidate coming out soon. And then after some time with the release candidate, we'll eventually release that as well. But I do know that 3.1 is being used in production on at least one site, probably more. So, you know, it's probably pretty close to production ready.
I have to say something about Django 1.6. I'm still stuck with Django 1.6, and I can't move forward to 1.7 or even 1.8 because I still have an issue with Django Parlay, which has not been solved yet. And
are we talking about shop right now?
no, well, it's a problem with Parlay in combination with Django CMS.
So, Jonas, what version of CMS are you? I mean, what version of Django are you using?
We're using 1.7.
Okay, so Jonas is using 1.7, Django CMS 3.0.11, and Parlay in his project that he just showed us. Jacob.
Yeah, I have a special setup.
Okay.
I have lots of abstract classes which are and maybe it has to do something with that. I have to still find out.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know. I guess I don't know what project you're talking about, so I don't really know.
Yeah, it's about Django Shop.
Oh, okay.
Version of Django Shop.
All right. So Nestor, thank you for joining us. I'm a little bit sorry for you that you just missed the two presentations that have been shown. I think all the presentations that have been shown, but they'll be recorded. They've been recorded and they'll be on YouTube soon. So stay tuned for that. Nestor, do you have anything you wanted to share with us, show us, or anything? Any projects you're working on? Okay, I know you've been here before, but that's fine. I'm happy that you came and joined us. This is what this is for. It's all about sharing. Okay, sorry, Jacob. I hope I didn't interrupt anything. Just wanted to welcome Nestor to the group.
No, it's just about that, and it's a pity that now since Django 1.8 came out, I'm still stuck on 1.6.
Which is, of course, obsolete, yeah.
To proceed, but the same thing applies for Aldryn, as far as I know. Therefore, when will Aldryn be 1.7 or even 1.8 ready?
There's not been an announcement, but we do know that has become a priority, especially now that 1.8 has been released. But we haven't made any announcements to any kind of dates or anything. So yeah, my big I'm also feeling that pain. You know, 1.6. I don't want to be stuck here. I don't have any client projects that are running in 1.6 that I know of, but I do have a number. You know, like the newsblog plugin that I just showed you. It only works in Django 1.6, and I need to change that. So right now there's a problem where I'm trying to use what is it? Sorted M2M, Django admin sorted M2M, I think it's called, which allows you to sort many-to-many relationships, much like admin sortable or admin sortable 2 does. And that, and I have Tagit in the same project, and they work fine under 1.6, but because of migrations and some weird interaction, I can't get the 2 to work in the same project. You don't happen to, Jonas, you don't happen to use sorted M2M in your project, do you?
No, actually, I didn't know about it, but
okay.
It sounds like a really good thing for our next project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of my standard go-to libraries. So you know, tag it for tags and admin sortable too now from which Mr. Reef here wrote, and of course sorted M2M and Filer. Those are kind of all my go-to libraries. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think one of the things that happened was you know, Django Tagit is built by a number of the core Django developers, and I think they kind of rushed out a big emergency fix for themselves to make Tagit work, and that was 1.7.4, which had a couple of things in it which were, I don't know for sure, but it appears that they were committed. You know, there's a PR opened and it was committed within hours. And I don't think the rest of the community has had any chance to weigh in on that or adapt. And I think that's what sorted M2M is that they just didn't really have a chance to adapt to it. So I don't know. I have to see. But right now, any versions before 1.7.4, I can run sorted M2M just fine. And any versions from 1.7.4 and later, I can run Tagit just fine. But I can't run them in the same release. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't checked in a while. I could be misspeaking. I haven't checked in a while, and I'm willing to bet that, especially now that 1.8 is out, that maybe both of them are working. And so probably starting Monday, I'm going to be really focused on getting Django Newsblog to work with something more than 1.6. And you know, I welcome input from the community, but that'll be something I'm going to be looking at.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I can see if I can help.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Awesome. Awesome. So are you actually in Sweden? Sorry.
I'm in Sweden.
Okay, okay. Because your English is so good, I thought maybe you were somewhere else.
But I actually have one question.
Yeah. What do you have?
Regarding custom user models.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Because we have a really, I mean, it's probably happened to a lot of people, I hope, but it's the error of improperly configured. You have to find the custom user model, but the app might not that, but it is.
Okay.
Never load actual, or when it looks for the model or finds it in Django CMS, and that this is in Django 1.7.4 and Django CMS 3.0.
Okay, so I recently put together a proof of concept. Jacob was having trouble with it as well, with user models.
It works well. It's in the new shop. I have a customized user model, and it works really well. You don't feel any impact.
Oh, you got it working good?
Yeah.
What'd you have to do?
I had to patch Django CMS.
Oh, well, you can't patch CMS. All right.
There's already an open pull request. I don't think it's already merged, but it's.
Is that the one that you were working on? And I noticed a lot of errors in other versions of Django.
Yeah, I know. I have to fix those. I'll just have a look.
Oh, okay. So, Jonas, I've just posted you a gist. If it's interesting to you, it's basically the important bits of doing a custom user model. Now, of course, the most important thing is you have to really do this from the start of your project. It's almost impossible to migrate to a custom user model. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, one thing you can do though is if you're just starting a project but you don't want to start from zero, is you can just kind of use, you know, fixtures or do dump data to get the important bits out and then rebuild the project with a custom model and then load those things back in. I've done that before. It's pretty quick. So you might find that useful. Now that was for 1.6 and Django in the latest version of the CMS, but I'm sure it will work just fine on 1.7. Now the interesting thing about this particular one is that Jacob was having trouble where it would seem to work just fine on run server, and then he was having trouble making it work on micro WSGI. So so I did test this particular one. I did test this particular one that I sent you on micro WSGI.
Okay, that's good. Because in the app config, because I'm thinking that could be an issue where we have a app config for the user model, but I'm not sure because the actual model or app name is returned, but I think it's a ordered dict in the Django CMS that's empty with it, so it should contain the model name, but it doesn't, so that's why this error occurred.
Strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Well, maybe just use that gist that I sent you as kind of a, just to double check what you're doing on your end, and if you find a bigger issue, please let us know. Like I said, Jacob has issues too, but I think he's doing something very complicated, and so I don't think you are doing anything as complicated.
No, I simplified the code. It's not true. I simplified it.
Well, it's unclear to me why it doesn't work then with the existing implementation. Anyway, so yeah, and if you continue to experience trouble, Jonas, please do reach out to us on IRC or post an issue or whatever with whatever you find.
I actually tried today. Is it Freenode and Django.cms?
Yeah, Django-CMS.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get an answer. I guess it was in the middle of the night or something.
Okay.
Because,
Well, to be honest, I've had it turned off for a little over a day, so I need to keep it on. I generally do, but
yeah, I will stay in the channel because it seems.
I think that's the biggest thing people make is that um, they come in and they fire off their question, and then if nobody answers like immediately, then they just log off, and of course there's no way to help. But if you can stick around, it'd be great.
Yeah, sure. I will keep it. Oh, I actually have one more question.
Okay.
I was going through like the user flow for blogs or stuff that needs more advanced content.
Okay.
So what we would have liked to do is to have, for example, if you want to post something with a specific and like Django CMS text plugins in that recipe available. For example, popping up a modal with like edit this with the actual placeholder text plugin in it, so that we could reuse some of the text plugins like trailer or video and those kind of stuff. But we split the.
So I'm sorry, are we talking about placeholder fields in models?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But specifically the text plugin, so that in the admin it would be, you have the text plugin with the CMS plugins enabled.
All right, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to log into the new site, but I'm going to do it on the back end real quick. And just give me 1 second. All right, this is it here. and then I'm just going to go to one of the articles and show you that that works. And I'll show you some other stuff too. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so, oh, here we go. Is everybody seeing what I'm sending? Okay, so this is the new site. I just showed it to you, but it's on our staging server. I think what we're talking about is using more advanced text editing in the model. So there's two things that are relevant here. One is we have available to us this, which this is not a placeholder field, but this is just a rich text editor in your model, right? So if you have, like, you can come in here and you can bold things or whatever you want. And at the end of the day, it just saves it as HTML, and it goes right into your text field. And then, of course,
you have the text plugin under the CMS plugins dropdown.
No, because this is only going to allow you to do, like, you can create your own text enabled plugins, and they would be able to go in here. But this is not a placeholder per se.
Plugin, the field.
Yeah, this is just a field. It's not a placeholder. But then, of course,
Plugin is something you add to a placeholder. The field is something you can just add to your model.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that.
Right.
So thing we wanted is the CMS plugins in the rich text editor. Which I didn't find a way to enable those when you use a rich text feed.
All right. So, okay. So you're.
You want to add plugins as children of a text field.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're showing now.
Right. Okay. So I'm on a placeholder field right now. So what I would recommend that you do is that you create a placeholder field in your model, and then you can add whatever you want in there. And in fact, it doesn't even come with a text editor by default. You have to add that.
Exactly. Yeah, but if it were possible to use the rich text, but still keep the CMS text enabled plugins in there, so that you, for example, could use Filer.
You wouldn't be able to use Filer. No, you might be able to use some things if you make them, but the thing is, Filer is a proper, I don't know how to say it. It's a proper plugin. It's not only a text-enabled plugin. I think there are some add-ons that you could put into the rich text editor, but they're not going to be Filer.
Okay.
Right. And I think what we would encourage you to do is to make a placeholder field. Now, the only reason we have this here is so that people can put, styles in their text. But this is all HTML field. We don't let them put images here or anything like that.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to show you guys while I was here, now that I'm logged into the back end, is I wanted to show you okay, you guys may remember from the last call we had that we have something now called app configs, right? So there's an add-on out there that's public, open source, called Aldryn App Hooks Config, and it allows you to create multiple instances of a single app, and then include all of those instances in the same project, right? Which was before very difficult, if not impossible to do. So the news blog is app config aware. So I can actually app hook this blog app to multiple pages, and each have their own, purpose. In this case, we're only using it one time, but it provides for us a configuration, which is kind of nice. And one of the configurations, again, that I just added yesterday was the ability to manage what your permalinks are going to look like. And you can see that here. You can just choose. And then once you've selected the one you want, then you can choose how do you want other permalinks to work. And I think I described this earlier, but I wanted to show it to you, and I didn't. Now I can. So there's that. Anyway, so I guess what I would say to you, Jonas, is to probably consider using a placeholder field. Now that, of course, the biggest, thing about that is that you have to edit placeholder fields on the front end. You can't do it in the back end. Yeah. So, but I think that it seems like a limitation, but it's exactly that gives you all the benefits that you want, right? So, we just don't have the full CMS in the admin, and on the front end we do.
It just would be nice to have the rich text field to have those text-enabled plugins available.
Yeah, it would be. I think some of them do work, but I don't think you can use just any old plugin. I'm not even 100% sure. I generally just push everything up to the front end and keep people out of the back end as much as possible.
Yeah, because we were looking at the flow for the site I showed earlier to create a news or blog kind of page, and it becomes like one step more that you create your page or post or entry, and then you add the text, and especially the customer is used to WordPress where everything happens on the same page pretty much.
I completely get it. So, let me just show you again. I'm going to show you the editing for this particular page. And there's so many fields, and we really struggle with how many we're going to show by default and then how many we're going to hide. So you can see we got all of these different things, and we really wanted to make it very simple, right? So we found some things that we're just going to hide away down here. And for the longest time, we had all of these details hidden as well because we wanted to keep this to be as minimal as possible. And we didn't even have this here, and we didn't even have this here. So it was just really type in the title, select the featured image, and then hit save. But we discovered that there was just some fields that were, you can tell they're bold, they're required. So we can't hide them away in a field set, a collapsed one at that. So we moved those back to the top, but everything else is optional, and so we just considered hiding this all away. But then we had some users saying, I don't want to have to click that every time I want to edit anything, and show it. So I feel your pain. What I would say is, I've seen some really cool stuff. I don't think it's something I can share because it's not mine. But I've seen some really cool stuff where people basically make wizards, where, like for this, and eventually we'll probably have one for Newsblog, but the idea would be that there's like an intermediate step. So instead of going directly to the admin, you don't go to the admin at all, and instead you say, I want to make a new blog post, and it pops up a user-friendly, CSS-styled dialog with just the minimal things that you need, and you type it in, and you hit go, and then it automatically creates the whole thing for you. And then from then on out, you're editing it. So it could be that you just give it the title and the lead in, right? And then after that, it already figures out who the author should be because it gets it from the user, right? And I'm just making this up. It's not implemented yet for this, but the idea would be it just asks you the minimal stuff that you need to get one started, and then you're going to be editing it from then out. So once you've done that, then you can come down here and you double click on the body and you can type your article, or you can add a picture or whatever. So that's another approach to keeping people out of the admin, right, and keeping them on the front end, which is where I really see everything going. Admin should be for people like you and me, but for your users, we keep them on the front end. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or topics to discuss? No? All right. Well, Okay, go ahead, Jacob.
The conference in Montreal, when will I assume that you can download the talks from?
I don't know. I would say check it out. It's the PyCon conference.
Oh, it's the Python conference, not the Django conference.
Yeah, it's PyCon. So yeah, it's. I think they have some pretty bigwig speakers. I know that Guido's there. Jacob Kaplan Moss is there. Um, of course, Divio's there as a sponsor. And yeah, there might be some good talks. I would like to see them myself. I'd like to see the direction of everything. But I don't know. I don't have any special knowledge of the conference. Just whatever you see on the website.
You're talking there?
You know, I don't even know that. I do happen to know because we had a core developers meeting the other day, and none of us were in Montreal. So I don't think we have any Django CMS people there. Of the core developer team. I know Christian's there. I don't know if he's speaking though, to be honest. I wish I did. I do know that there was a lot of pressure to get all this stuff, ready. So there's a lot of pressure to get 3.1 to the beta state, which it's at, and we have the new website launched and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so we've been at it for an hour now. So if anybody else has anything, I'd be happy to continue on. But if not, I'll lead us to a close. Okay. Well, next month's meeting will be, of course, May, the second Thursday night. And we'll hope to see you there. And keep on Django CMSing. Bye, guys.